Kekkai Sensen, also known as Blood Blockade Battlefront, is one of my favorite shows from 2015. Now when I say that, I'm not saying that it was the best show, it wasn't even the best of its season, but it does sit at the number 3 spot for the year, and 3 out of the 72 anime I watched that year isn't that bad. That's in the top 4%. But why did I love it? Because it was an amalgamation of everything that I didn't know I wanted. The show was weird, eccentric, and any other synonym you could think of. And I fell in love. And despite it being number 3, I've rewatched it many more times than anything in the top 2. But what makes the weirdness work is just how it's organized. When something weird happens, there was always a reason, or it was built on something for the climax, despite the story being anime original. But we Kekkai Sensen fans would have never guessed that a season 2 was only 2 years away, and now it's here with a few changes. By changes, I mean staff changes. We got a new director, folks, and a new team. Quick anime fact, if you didn't know, Studio Bones has 4 separate studios. Studio A, Studio B, Studio C, and Studio D. These different compartments all work on different anime at the same time. For reference, Studio A did My Hero Academia, Studio B did Mob Psycho 100, Studio C did Bungo Stray Dogs and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and D did Concrete Revolutio. With that out of the way, I can tell you that Kekkai Sensen is now in Studio B, though it used to be a shared project between Studio A and C. So with a lot of changes going on, this season could have been a train wreck waiting to happen. But going from the first episode alone, I don't think there will be a problem. So now let's look at everything in its first episode that proves that it'll be just as good or better than the original. It opens up as shows that haven't gotten a season in a while do, and give a brief recap. But hold on, those who rewatched the show before it aired, or binge watchers, it's not too long and it just brings you up to speed on the slight passage of time. It even shows some footage from the last season to assure things haven't changed that much since you left. But during this, there is a flying saucer just hanging out in the background, very quickly sucking up people. It abruptly cuts to Leo falling from the sky. He suddenly breaks the fourth wall, subtle as Rick and Morty's humor, and starts to play the new Kick-Ass soundtrack, as Zap, as usual, saves Leo from his doom. They do a Gintama-like reference to Spider-Man, and Zap goes to make fun of Leo for having the weird thing on his head. Another man falls from the sky, and it's revealed that despite these cute little things' appearance, they will kill people. Also, this introduces a new factor to the season, blood. Let's be honest with ourselves here. The first season, despite being called Blood Blockade Battlefront, it was very low on blood. This season immediately addresses this and just shows some actual gore. As long as they don't go Tokyo Ghoul with it, I'll be fine. Not saying anything bad about Tokyo Ghoul, just the fact that all that blood just wouldn't fit this series specifically. We then learn that this whole thing was shot off by our good old King of Depravity. This character didn't get a lot of screen time last season because the major villain of that season was the King of Despair, so he took on most of the plotting. But it's nice to see how random but completely in control the man is. He came up with these demon beasts while he was making breakfast and created them to have a time limit of 6 hours, 6 minutes, and 6 seconds. You know, 666, the number of the beast. But they will cause so much damage that the time limit doesn't even matter, because these things eat everything and grow at a ridiculous rate. Right after this is announced, Zap tries to ignore Leo's cries for help, but when a cat falls from the sky and cracks the container on his head, Zap then shows some concern and tries to keep it from breaking open. They then start running for their lives until they're surrounded. Then some of the other members from Libra show up and does a nice reintroduction to them. It even makes fun of how they all say their attack names out loud, so they all speak over each other and cover up the screen with text. It's a fun decision that I can get behind. It's a lot better than having the characters say their attacks one at a time. That would just get tedious. Chain, another member of Libra, gets reintroduced and alerts the crew to the presence of an extremely large demon beast. She then loses her balance thanks to one of the smaller ones and gets caught by claws. Our heroes end up surrounded, and this time, there's no surprise attacks. So Claus decides to use his brain grid blood battle technique. A tells everyone to line up as we get this amazing cut by Yutaka Nakamura. You know the guy who animated the Deku vs Todoroki fight in My Hero Academia? The guy who animated the Aloe scene in Mob Psycho 100? Yeah, that guy. and it kinda leaves a gross result. And the sad and funny thing is that Leo treats this like it's just an average day. Then the glass breaks on Leo's head, and it just cuts to black and he screams. This was all in the first 6 minutes, and it was the best promise ever. It's like this show was assuring its audience that everything was okay, and nothing would change. It's still Kekkai Sensen. This is part 1 in 3 of a series about Kekkai Sensen Beyond Episode 1. The next we'll be discussing the OP, so that will be fun. Sorry that it's actually kind of short, but the thing is, I'm writing a college paper right now, and I kinda can't, and I need to upload this by Monday. Hopefully it comes out by Monday. You could check if it came out on Monday. But please remember to like and subscribe if you want to see the next part, and also, since I'm a small YouTuber, it would be a major help if you can click that bell so you will be for sure to see me. And thank you for watching, and see you next time.